Right, it does say that we're live, Sarah. So we are live in a little bit of an unexpected place. We was expecting to be on our pop-up group called Soars. We had a last-minute technical hitch, so we've decided to show up imperfectly on the Holistic Health Collective page. So we're just going to give people a minute or two to join in. But sorry
Yes, this was where we were meant to be.
maybe you were meant to be here. How are you this evening, Sarah?
Yeah, I'm really excited. So this is a new immersion that we're doing. And you may have heard us explain before, Hannah and I have been working with women, helping them with symptoms of anxiety in our free 5-day offer that we usually do a couple of times a year. And we're really seeing huge, significant shifts in our clients, in our client base. So we're here with She Soars, this new offering, which feels really aligned for us and for the way we want to show up for you as well. How are you?
I'm good. Do you know, I do always share that I wasn't feeling the best today, just feeling into this like equinox, like the full moon. But for me, you know, I washed my hair and I put a clean top on to show up, and I always feel really, really good going live. So I'm really, really grateful to be here because you helped me show up as the best version of me, like our audience. So thank you so much for joining us. I can see Karina, I can see Karen. This is StreamYard, so unless you register, we're not going to see the exact names, but thank you to everyone who's joining us live this evening, and hello to those of you on replay as well. So I'm just going to go over who this challenge really is for, just to make sure that you're in the right place. But this is for women who are feeling maybe a little bit stuck in their lives, maybe a little bit trapped or like you're on a hamster wheel, but you believe on a soul level that you're destined for more. So Sarah said we was helping women with anxiety. A lot of them are rising up out of that and they are ready for the next level. So this feeling of I'm ready for more. So is that you? And we really want to help you live authentically and reach your highest potential as well. So this is 3 days of workshops. So today, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. We're going to be diving in for, we don't know the exact time, about 45 minutes, we think, on these evenings, 8 o'clock every single evening. And there is still time to join the challenge and invite someone that you know. So that description, if you're thinking, that's my mum, that's my sister, that's my my colleague, my friend, then please invite them to join this challenge. I'm going to drop the link here because it means that you'll receive the emails with the replays put on there, especially when we're jumping around to different places as well. So if you'd like to share it, this is the link to join us. We've got Sarah Bailey, we've got Helen. Oh, it's so nice to see so many familiar faces. Thank you so much for joining us. So that's a little bit about what's going on for the next 3 days. A little bit about us. We've got loads of our regular clients who know all about us here. But for those of you that are new, we have been running our membership for women for 2 years now called the Holistic Health Circle. And my sister and I, so Sarah and I, we're real life sisters. We've kind of brought our skills together to be able to help women rise. So Sarah is a breath coach and a yoga teacher, among lots of other things as well. My main thing is I'm a naturopathic nutritionist. So we've brought those 3 skills together. We've brought our love for rituals and moon ceremonies together, and also personal development that is more leaning towards spirituality, I'd say. Would you, Sarah?
Absolutely, like you mentioned earlier, knowing things on a soul level, if that resonates with you.
Yeah, and we love creating safe spaces. We don't think that there's enough of them. There's not enough. I don't know about everyone else here, but we've really missed. If it wasn't for the Holistic Health Circle, we didn't have enough community. Thank goodness we had our online community, but it's a safe space to allow you to grow, to empower you, to help you rise, to get support when things are a little bit harder, because we all go through challenges as well. And so, yeah, we've been doing this for 2 years. Like Sarah said, we're evolving a little bit, not talking about anxiety now as much, but this next stage of actually helping you rise. And we love a little bit of interaction because it's this beautiful synergistic 2-way energy. So we always have a little competition that we run. And we're really excited. This Saturday, isn't it? Saturday night, Sarah, we've got our cacao ceremony. So if you're into your ceremonial grey cacao, or especially if you're not, we will send you some if you win this competition, and you can join us in ceremony on Saturday night. Tell us a little bit about what we're doing in that ceremony, Sarah.
So we work with this plant medicine called cacao, which is the rawest form of chocolate, so delicious. Not only is it delicious for the taste buds and extremely nutritional for the body, it's quite a powerful heart-opening plant. So it allows us to drop into our heart space and live more authentically with the support of the plant world. So we make a ritual every quarter, so every seasonal change. We hold space to honour the change of the seasons and to reconnect with where you're at, where you're going, what's working, what isn't. And we do meditation, we do breath work, we talk about the energies that are current for this season and how to make the most out of it. And of course, all of these things you can come to live, which is beautiful being in community, or you can catch up in your own time if you want to get snuggled up in bed one evening and do it with your cacao, or if you're a morning bird. So it all works for you.
Yes, thank you, Sarah. Just a couple more shout outs. Just want to say hello to Varuna, to Karen, to Ali, to Heather. It's so nice to see you all. Yeah, we are going to be talking about a little bit each day. We're going to tell you a little bit about our membership, because lots of women, when they do our challenges with us, they were like, we love your energy. We want to carry on this journey. We want to carry on this work. So we'll be explaining a little bit about our really affordable membership that can really, really help you to rise in your life. So your physical health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, all of those things. So we'll just be touching on a little bit of that at the end of each day. But Sarah, you're going to tell us, before we jump into today's training, a little bit about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And for everyone here, we just dropped an image into She Soars pop-up Facebook group. So it's over there for you to see the image. I'm going to share a link now for you as well in the chat so you can see it. But Sarah, can you tell us a little bit about the hierarchy of needs?
Yeah, so this is part of our 3-day challenge, and day one today we're doing a life audit, and there's this really great visual that I've put inside the group. And in fact, if you just go onto Google, if you're on your screen now and you Google Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you'll get this beautiful image of a triangle, and basically it's used in a psychology model, and it's a 5-tier structure. If you think of a pyramid, the base down at the bottom, what these 5 needs are for humans to reach their full potential. So we've got the base layer, which is really physiological needs. So the need for food, water, rest, warmth, those things that you need to survive and be here in this moment. So fingers crossed, we've ticked that box. We are there. We've got our foundations. But of course, it's not black and white. There are grey areas within each layer of the tier. Then we move up to layer 2, which is about security and safety. So this is like having a steady income. This is about having stable relationships around you. It's about things being fairly predictable. Of course, life isn't completely, but it's about having sustainable things around you. So knowing that, you know, your needs are going to be met because money is coming in and people are reliable around you. Then we move up to layer 3, which is our psychological needs. And this is the need for belonging. This is really deep in the human psyche, and it's built into every cell in our body, this thing of belonging. And we know isolation, this is a word and a feeling we've become very familiar with. Isolation isn't good for us. It's not good for the heart. It's okay, maybe restricted isolation for periods of time. But long term, not good, is it? No. It's about having this feeling of belonging, intimate relationships, friendships that nurture your soul, healthy relationships that bring out the best in you. So that's layer 3. Layer 4 is about esteem, and it's about feeling of accomplishment. So once you've got these 3 layers covered, you can start to work up to, okay, I've got everything kind of coasting along quite well. Where can I start to expand my life? What might be more on purpose for me? Where might my energies be really usefully channeled? And that might be coming through in your hobbies, or maybe in your work as well, or a sideline project. Things that, you know, you might be naturally quite good at without too much effort, and spending some time doing that. And then at the top, we've got self-actualization, self-fulfillment needs. And I should have mentioned this before, but a lot of yogis, if you're into your wellness, they will associate this hierarchy of needs with the chakra system. So this is in the third eye and the crown region,
Mm-hmm.
about achieving your full potential, being creative, and yeah, being the best version of yourself in this moment. Okay, and that's going to change. It doesn't have to, you know, be a static thing.
Mm.
Things around you are changing, so we might need to be adaptable. But we really believe in not just going through the motions in this life. We really encourage us and you to make time to find out what might your full potential look like and how can we get you there? How can we
You
support?
move towards it, absolutely. Who has heard of the Maslow hierarchy of needs? Have you heard of it before? Let us know in the comments. Do you use it, maybe in your line of work? And if we said the bottom one was number one, so we've got number one up to number five, where would you rate yourself at the moment? And like Sarah said, it probably is like most things in life, you know, we weave a little bit, don't we? We don't just get to the top and then stay there forevermore. We might come back down for a little while, especially if we're like, I'm thinking maybe not feeling very well. We need to go back to our base needs, right? And maybe nourish ourselves and look after ourselves a little bit more. But yeah, Karina's saying she's heard of it. Where would you say that you're sitting at the moment? And maybe think about moving up like one or two rungs at the moment. So if you're only on number one, for example, what we're calling number one tonight, if you try and move up to number five too quickly, it's like building your house, like Sarah said, on an unstable foundation, like a deck of cards. Like it's really easy to collapse. What was the analogy that we were talking about earlier? Can you remember that? Oh, we said about walking in heels, didn't we? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so they call it spiritual bypassing, where you try and reach, you know, the highest, dizziest heights. And Hannah said, "Oh, how can we? What would that be like in our daily life?" And we're like, putting on a pair of stilettos for a full day when you've been walking around in your lockdown slippers for 2 years. Okay, it's just too much too soon. You need to go back down a little level and get more grounded and build your way up to it. So we're baby steps. We're all about sustainable, manageable chunks to get you up. And
Yeah.
also allowing you to recognize where you're at and where, oh, perhaps I need to come back here, or I'm ready to move up.
Yeah, and it's not very nice, like that stagnant feeling. Say like some people have dropped there like about a three. That's like really safe, like you're in your comfort zone.
Mm.
Sometimes it can start to feel like almost a little bit boring or a little bit too safe, can't it? So sometimes we just need to stretch ourselves a little bit more up into the fours or the fives, even if it's just momentarily or for half a day, or something that scares us, something that excites us, something that pushes ourselves out of our comfort zone to make us feel alive again.
Absolutely.
So you're going to be, I think you're going to lead us through a little bit of breath work. Is that the first thing that we're doing? We're actually going to be going through a life audit.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that, Sarah. What we're starting with?
You might want some paper. In fact, that would be really useful if you've got paper and pen. Should have said that at the beginning, but we're kind of still at the beginning. So have a paper and pen. I'm going to take you through some gentle guided breath work and movement, but really just to kind of, again, recognize the importance. Why would you do a life audit? You know, what's that all about? And it's kind of what we alluded to. It's feeling like you're coasting along in your life. You know, you've got ones and the twos on that hierarchy of needs met. You're coasting in the threes and you're feeling functional rather than really fulfilled. Okay. So yes, we want our life to be fulfilled, but we still got to do the washing and clean the toilet. But we want these moments where we do feel, okay, we've got that covered. We know it needs doing, but I know that I've got this thing coming, or I feel so in alignment every day, or I feel in the best health and wellness available to me in this moment. Okay, so it's kind of like you want to bring a bit more purpose into your life. You are going to pull in things that make you feel happier and more fulfilled. You're kind of more in touch with your emotions and able to recognize them and soothe them in a way that's right for you. So not feeling over emotional and overwhelmed and unstable. And you're ready to up level in life. Come on, who's ready? You ready to up level?
Yes.
And you're ready to do it at, you know, a speed that's really sustainable and really, really works. Yes. So that's why we're doing the audit.
Drop a heart in if you're like, yes, 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 I'm ready. Give us some hearts. We want to see who's ready.
You're ready.
Karina, yes. I said, Karina put, I'm a two, sometimes a four. I was like, you know that you felt a four on your retreat. She was like, maybe even a five on my retreat. Brilliant. We're glad that you've had like glimpses of that recently.
Yeah. And knowing what it was that helped you to get there as well. So By doing an audit like we're about to do, where I'm sort of collecting information, I really want you to know at this stage is an information collecting process. That sounds
Yeah.
really dull, doesn't it? It's a checking in, and it's a recognizing where we're at. Don't worry about the next stage. It really is. Awareness is such a key point in change. It's not the only thing. It won't create change on its own, but it
Yeah.
is step one. And we know it's really important to take baby steps. Otherwise we get overwhelmed and we just leave it.
Yeah.
So we're going to collect this information, and it actually really motivates us to take action and change, because we've got it down in black and white, and we're like, okay, I know this is where I'm at, and that's not working for me. So of course we're going to do something about it, because we are ready to up level in life. And just to also say what a wonderful time that you're all showing up, because this is a time of new beginnings and new energy. So you may or may not know, and I think you probably do because you're in our audience, that we've just had the spring equinox. We're sitting in that energy of new beginnings, of life blossoming, and everything in our external world is a reflection of us internally. So it is showing you that you are ready. You're ready to grow, you're ready to blossom, you're ready to open up to new opportunities. And we're also about to move into a new astrological year. And the reason we mention that is because Hannah and I work with the moon cycles. We're very much about seasonal living, and because that's a constant reminder of, you know, life's moving. Am I moving with life at the speed I want to be? And we use the moon, we use a new moon to check in with our direction and our desires and our goals. And we use a full moon to celebrate all the things that we've called in, or release them if they're no longer serving purpose for us. So we're doing this really regularly. And we have an astrological new year in the sign of Aries. So again, that's another new beginnings, new starts. And Aries energy is really this fire energy. It's really motivating and really supportive. So we've got
Mm.
it all working for us.
Yeah, and I think Sarah made a really good point. If you're here tonight, like you heard the call and you are ready for this, so don't play small, play big. And we'll probably talk about more about this in a moment. But some of this, realizing where you are right now, to be honest, can make you. It can bring your energy down a bit, can't it, Sarah? Because it makes you realize what isn't working in your life.
Mm.
But without realizing that, without acknowledging that, without being real with yourself, it's very difficult to move forward because you're living in fantasy world, right? If we're making out that everything's okay and I'm okay, but really there's this really big problem with a relationship over here, or this big problem with work over here, and we're not acknowledging it, we can't ever change it, can we? So this is the, like, we're getting real time, ladies. So get your pen, get your paper ready, keep your heart open, and try your best not to judge yourself as we move through this process.
We're going to keep our hearts open with some guided breath work here. And before we go into it, and I will tell you a little bit more as we do it, I want you just to, if you want to stand up for this, stand up. I can't because the camera's going to lose my head. I want you just to start shaking it off a little bit, like, oh, this is where I'm at. Like maybe there's a layer of dust on us, maybe a layer of stagnant energy. So just shake it off, okay? Keep the body loose, keep the energy flowing. Shake the hands, bring some vibration into the body, just shake it off. And you can imagine if there's any sticky, heavy, dense energy, you can imagine it like dirt or water coming out of you. Shake it off. And then come into a still point when you feel ready. And come into place the hands so that they're in contact with the floor. And if you're on a seat or on the sofa, just onto your body and your feet on the floor. So it's a moment of grounding. So it's a moment of really being present. I'm here. I can feel my sit bones or my feet on the earth, or even my hands touching. I've got the support of nature. Just feeling that. And softening the body. So we may be holding tension somewhere. When you're ready, see if you can just start to grow a little bit taller from the crown of your head. And just say hello to the breath. Probably all of us have been over breathing today. We've been breathing a little bit too quickly. And when we do this, it actually just tells our nervous system that we're not really safe. Kind of keeps us in that survival mode, so on those lower rungs of the hierarchy of needs. Nervous system doesn't know that we're ready to move forward. So start to be more conscious with your breath now. Start to breathe more slowly and feel like you're really filling up the container of your lungs in a nice gentle way. So you're not kind of pushing yourself. Think about these baby steps. You're just bringing the energy gently in, like a spring awakening, you know, gentle and steady. And you can feel this air coming in, and it's a bit like a spring clean. It's coming in, it's reaching some areas that may have been left in the dark. And you're slowly letting that air out and really feeling into the exhale that you're releasing everything in the container of the lungs. Just taking a few breaths like this, really bringing your awareness into the breathing and into the body. We've probably been again in our mind too much. So we want to get back into the body, and the breath is a beautiful gateway to do this. So as you bring the air in, you can feel the belly expanding. Feel this potential energy being invited in. Always invite in sound with the out breath if that feels right for you. And then start to consciously breathe in and out for about the same length of time. So maybe in for 2 seconds and out for 2. But if you can go longer, I'd encourage longer. You might gently count to yourself, or you might just be feeling into it. And as you do this, it's going to drop you into a state of coherence. And this has been measured in science. It's when the heart's leading, and the heart is an intelligent organ, even more so than the brain. Heart's sending messages up to the brain more than the other way around. Keep breathing. And it's creating an electromagnetic field around you. Powerful energetic field. When we bring awareness to the breath, obviously the lungs and the heart are connected. We can gain more conscious control of the energy that we're emitting from the body. And we send a signal to the brain. It starts to create brain waves that are in coherence with the energy of the heart. And it puts us in a harmonious state so that they're working together. Okay, so we're not being led by the brain. We're not fear-based living. We're heart-led living. And we're going to just take one more conscious breath together. Love the fact that we're all doing this together. That's even more powerful because our energetic fields are expanding towards each other. And when you finish the last exhale, I want you to open your eyes and lift your arms up to the sky. Reach up, open your heart, look up, open your wings, spread your wings wide. Exhale, bring them down to the floor. You might want to look down to Mother Earth and kind of feel about it. You know, you're
That's a nice stretch for the back, right, as well.
So good. So good for the back, the lungs, the arms. But feel like this is you beginning to take off and soar. You might even want to shake it out at the top here. Almost a bit.
It was a bit like those power kind of moves, Sarah, where you're making yourself bigger, not making yourself smaller, ladies, to fit in, to be quieter, you know, to keep the peace. You're taking up space, taking up room.
Taking up space, expanding. And when you embody this, when you do it with your physical body, not just your mind, you're going to have more impact more quickly. So last one, let's all do it. Looking up, lifting the energy, soaring, flying. Ah, woo. can feel it all coming through the
So
screen.
simple, but it does change your state. There's no denying it, isn't there? If you've come here slightly frazzled, I hope that you've joined in and that you're not just, watched us being weird on Facebook. It is the most effective tool. We've always shared this for the past 2 years publicly. Number one tool to change your state, to calm anxiety, to feel calmer, to uplift yourself, to let go of anything that's not serving you, is the breath just cannot be overlooked for its power. You know, we die within a couple of minutes without breathing. Well, it depends how good you are at actually holding your breath. Some people can train themselves a bit longer, but not a lot longer than that. So we're at this lovely heart open place now to kind of really reflect on what's going on. So you're going to lead us through that then, Sarah.
So we're going to move into the journaling part, and don't worry if you don't have the paper, just you can think through this. And I often, if I'm journaling without writing, I kind of tune into my heart energy by placing the hand, and no one's judging you, this is just for you, so forget about everything else happening and just tune in for yourself. In the Facebook group we've also put an emotional guidance scale, and I don't think we can show it on the screen, can we?
No, I'll share the link again in the comments now, so people might be able to copy and paste and open it themselves. But we can't share it right now.
So I've put an emotional guidance scale up there, which is a bit like that hierarchy of needs. So if you think those base layers are kind of a little bit more, shall we say, denser energy emotions. So frustration, anger, depression, loneliness. And then we've got the higher vibrational states. So that would be, and I'm just bringing up the guide now so I can bring love, joy, appreciation, gratitude, passion, enthusiasm. So there's a couple of words to get you started, but you may have your own adjectives and narratives that you want to use as we scale this. So we're going to be looking at a couple of key areas of our life. And I'm going to invite you to mix it up if this doesn't resonate. But we would invite looking at your health. And we're talking mental, physical, and emotional health. We're going to be talking about work. So that's whether you work in a business, a company, for yourself, if you're a caregiver, a homemaker, what it is that you do for work. And relationships, that's the third one. So friendships, romantic relationships, family relationships. So just to remind you, as we journal, think about health, work, and relationships.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so question one is, what is my dominant emotional state at the moment? And I would take a few breaths to tune into that. Dominant emotional state in the moment, or lately, the last day or two.
So you don't mean specifically after that breath work, because most people are probably feeling really good after that breath work compared to before, but you just mean like generally, like kind of Saturday, Sunday, Monday. What's the dominant state?
Disappointment, overwhelm, could it be worry?
Happiness, peace, love, gratitude, or maybe somewhere in between.
Yeah, maybe it's changeable. Maybe it's changeable. So know that you can come back to these, but we want to, we've got a few to go through, so we'll move on. The next question is, what's been on your mind a lot lately? What's on repetition? What's getting a lot of airtime? What are you thinking about a lot? And why do you think about it a lot?
I love that question, Sarah, because although we might have these repetitive thoughts, we might not bring conscious awareness to it. So actually we can be thinking about something all day, kind of playing there in the background, right? But we're not actually aware of it. So I love the awareness that this question brings.
What are you thinking a lot? What's on your mind? And as you're going through these, if it starts to feel a little unsteady emotionally for you, come back to your breath. And then the next couple of questions, I'm going to invite you to rate them out of 5, okay? And so 1 being not enough, sort of lower rung of the ladder, and 5 being happy, content, and fulfilled. So is that clear? 1 is sort of not enough, feeling poor, feeling bad, feeling like lots of room for improvement, 5 feeling the best. So the first question is, and this is related to our relationships, am I spending enough time with my family and friends? So 5 is going to be absolutely perfect. 1 is not at all, not anywhere near it. 1 to 5. And then the next question is the quality of my relationship as nourishing as I would like? Perhaps you want to just think about 3 or 4 relationships. Ready for the next? Am I spending enough time doing my passions? Am I spending any time doing them?
And if you don't really know what your passions are, which a lot of people do share they don't, just anything that you love. Could even be listening to music, something as simple as that, couldn't it, Sarah? Or getting out and seeing the sun when it's here. Can be super, super simple. Doesn't have to be complicated, expensive.
That's where you're spending enough time doing it. Moving on to, am I spending enough time working? Just scaling that 1 to 5. And the same question, am I spending enough time relaxing, resting and relaxing? We start to build a picture of, what's working, what's not, where needs a little bit of attention. And am I spending enough time having fun? Okay, so we move out of the grading scale for a moment. Am I following my life purpose enough? Or at least things that light me up. So if you don't know your life purpose, things that light you up and illuminate you. Do I make the most of my free time? Do I make the most of my free time? And again, relationships. Which 5 people am I spending the most time with? And does this feel healthy for me? Juicy question.
It's good. And that would include people online, I guess, in these days, wouldn't it? That question traditionally has always been in person. But now we can spend really a huge portion of our day with certain people online as well. So do include that. And they do say that you become like the 5 people you spend the most time with, don't they, Sarah? So this is always a good one to see if they're kind of healthy, nourishing relationships or if they're a bit more challenging.
Yeah, noticing often we pick up the sayings of those people that we spend time with subconsciously. And is that a good narrative? Does that feel good to hear and to say? And then moving on to the health awareness. Am I happy with my body? It doesn't necessarily need to be the way it looks, but the way it functions and feels. And the way it looks as that resonates for you.
So these would probably, I think they'd probably be good if you do them on the scale again. Do you reckon, Sarah, 1 to 5?
Yeah,
You can
let's see
kind
how
of
that
see how
goes.
much room for improvement that you've got there.
I'll give you one moment. I've got a little cat in need.
Right, I'll carry on. So the last one was, am I happy with my body? There's just a few more to go. So this is our life audit section if you've just joined us. The next one is, am I happy with my emotional state? And I guess the question earlier about what is your dominant emotional state might help you here. So someone kindly shared there in the comments, they said, thank you for being honest about that. Said that they're feeling fearful, you know, and I think that's a lot of people are feeling like that. And, you know, you showing up and giving that one honest comment there is making other people go, oh, thank goodness it's not just me.
Mm.
So your dominant emotion, are you happy with that? And then this one is a little bit of writing. What are my current self-care practices? So any way that you look after yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, what are your current self-care practices? And that could include something from a walk to a bath to even like, you know, something simple like cutting your toenails. That's still looking after ourselves and still a self-care practice. Or it might be reading, listen to podcasts, audiobooks, that kind of thing, nourishing for your mind. Or your more physical practices, perhaps your yoga, your Pilates, maybe you like getting to the gym, or maybe you got something really fun like skating or something like that, hula hooping.
I've opened up a pole dancing studio near me, so I'm promising myself to get down there. That's definitely a bit more fun.
Watch out for the bruises.
Yes.
Do you want to read the last one, Sarah?
Yeah, I think the last one's a really important question, something that we probably should ask ourselves every day, and it's, are my actions reflecting my true self? Because your actions originate in your heart.
Mm. So could you explain that? If there's someone here who's like, what the hell does that mean? Do my actions reflect my true self? How can we break that down a little bit more?
Okay, so if I use myself as an example, real animal lover. It's really high up in the importance of what makes me happy.
Mm.
And I was a meat eater for many years.
Mm.
Um, and that was incongruent with my love for animals and my belief system about them being equals to us.
Yeah.
My actions of eating meat was not in alignment with my true feelings in my heart. Now, that's
Mm.
judge anyone that does, and I'm not saying that I'll never eat meat. If my dietary requirements need it, then I
Yeah.
would consider it. But at the moment, that feels right with my heart energy.
Yeah.
So I don't eat meat at the moment. So that's an action I've taken. Um, when I wasn't in control of what I ate, I used to pick up my burgers and kiss them before I ate them and apologise. So sorry.
Did that fix it?
It brought awareness to it, and again, that's one of the first stages. But perhaps we're let's have another example.
Yeah, I've got one. You might say that your family or friends are your most important people in your life or most important thing in your life, but actually the way that you're speaking to them is not kind because you're under pressure or you're not making time to spend quality time with them. So when you're with them, maybe you're all on your different forms of tech and it's not actually good quality time. So again, like what you're saying you value is not actually being shown in your actions in the way that you say that you value it. So that's a way of yeah, like Sarah said, not being congruent.
Yeah.
Are your actions generally reflecting your true self? Or you might say that you really love looking after your body and health's really important to you, but you're never eating healthy food, or you're maybe you've taken it to another extreme, like you're really controlling everything that you eat and not really getting any joy from food, for example. So it's harder to absorb the nutrients if we're being really, really controlling. So great last question. You might need a little bit more time there, but maybe one or two things come to mind for you straight away. We know when we're being authentic and when we're not. So it's a great question, Sarah. So I hope that you've taken your time to to journal on some of that? Like we said, you might need a little bit more time. And is there an area that really stands out to you now as the one that needs the most help? So is it relationships? Is it work? Is it health? Out of those three, if they're the ones that you focused on. And if you're happy to, because it's not anything too personal, maybe you could share with us in the comments. It would really be nice to know the theme. I mean, a lot of women we work with do want to work on their health, don't they, Sarah?
Mm. Yeah,
Maybe,
remember that's physical, mental, and emotional health. They all go hand in hand.
yeah. But maybe it's relationships, maybe it's your work or whatever work is for you. Like Sarah said, you might be a homemaker, you might take care of family, however that looks in your life. So we've got a little bit of, we're not going to call it homework because we don't like that word too much. What about home play? What was our home play for this, Sarah?
Okay, so you may have identified there which is the priority for you that you're struggling with and you'd like to make changes in that stands out, but would really like you to also rate the other two. So what's the second priority and what the third priority is? And like we just like to really affirm that there is no judging, you're not failing at anything. Honestly, you are doing great as you are. And the fact that you're showing up, it just means that you're ready to recognize that you might be ready to grow in certain areas of your life. So there's no point going into judgment or shame, because it really, some emotions are really useful. So, for example, someone said they were feeling fear. Fear is a natural response to certain situations. It's really useful. It can save us. But things like judgment and shame, they're really not going to get us anywhere. So you can let go of them. You can put them out the window right now.
They keep us stuck, don't they? And also, if there's an area of your life that feels like it's not going as well, it's probably because you're maybe valuing another area of life. So say it's like your health that's struggling. Really common one that we get with the women we work with is they're putting a lot into their families and they're really like showing up for their kids in like huge ways. And so that's something to be celebrated. And it might be that this stage of your life, your children are young and they really need you. So now it might be that now you're putting some focus on it. You can just shift that balance a little bit, because obviously we can show up for our family even more if we're feeling amazing physically, mentally, emotionally. But it might be like that's what the time required, you know. It might be that your child had their own health issue or another family member. Maybe you're looking after a parent or a grandparent, you know, and they really needed you in that moment. So you've done the best you could with the information that you had at the time. We all do. But it might just be the time now just to shift that focus a little bit.
Yeah, so we're thinking out the comfort zone, into the growth zone where you're ready to. Baby steps. We're here to support you and everyone in the group. So group energy is really important in sustaining the energy, encouragement. And also just to say, if anything came up, if there were any triggers or any area of your life that feels overwhelmingly difficult, perhaps the group space isn't the most supportive for you, and Hannah and I do work one-to-one with people as well. So if there's something you'd like to really reach out and let us talk about supporting you with in a deeper way, Hannah can do that through her incredible nutrition one-to-ones, and I can do that through movement and through breath work as well. So just a side note if you were noticing that came up for you. Otherwise, we've got day 2. We've got tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you for everything that you shared in the comments there, ladies. We'll come back and comment on them in a little bit. But so today was really about that audit. So I'm hoping that you've done that. You might want to go away once we finish this live, just spend a little bit more time on it. But tomorrow is really about empowerment, right? And putting you back in control, putting the control back into your hands with boundaries. And this is a word that we've been using quite a lot recently, isn't it, Sarah? So getting clear on your boundaries, practicing upholding your own boundaries. So before we tell everyone else that we've got these boundaries, which actually we don't normally need to communicate it like that anyway, but just making sure that we could, you know, uphold our own boundaries and that we can actually stick to them ourselves. So if we say, for example, use that example earlier, that health's really important to us, can we actually make sure that we've got some healthy food in the house that we can actually nourish ourselves with? or are we not being able to stick to our own values at all and our own boundaries at all? So we're just going to get really clear on our boundaries. We can discuss things like if it's hard to get other people to stick to your boundaries, we can discuss that in the group if you'd like to. But we're just going to start off by practicing, can we stick to our own boundaries that we actually define tomorrow in our session? So we're going to be back live at 8 o'clock to be doing that. Anything else that we need to share today, Sarah?
I think it's just a side note on the emotional scale as well. If you notice something quite strong for you, also know that we are cyclical beings and things are going to change naturally throughout the month, and throughout the course of our lifetime. So know that everything's temporary. And we're just really bringing awareness to this and bringing the support to help you feel like you can manage it more. So yeah.
Brilliant.
If you want to know any more about cyclical living, you can head over to our website now, and we've got loads of information there. And like Hannah mentioned, our membership, we're going to be speaking about that as well, because that is a way we can support you through the month. But otherwise, shall we finish with a little embodied movement? Shall we shake our little wings out again after?
Just a minute, just for a minute, because we said 45 minutes. We're at 45 minutes and 41 seconds.
So let's have a shimmy and a shake out again, and do get those shoulders moving and rolling. The arms, the hands, the shoulders, they're all extension of our heart energy. And if you're holding lots of tension here, perhaps your heart is contracting. So moving through the shoulders, and then when you're ready, just inhale, lift the hands up, stretch and stretch your wings, and then gently ground them back, bring them back down to earth. Just doing that a couple of times, really starting to embody this feeling that you're expanding, you're growing, and you're ready to lift off and soar.
We actually all need that reminder, Sarah. I'm so glad that you've done that, because we just sit here for too long and say thank you for holding that space and reminding us that we constantly need that movement. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this evening. We love, love, love when you join us live, for all your comments, for all your sharing. Tomorrow night, as long as we can work out the tech, we should be in the She Soars group. If not, we will do the same thing and we'll send it to the She Soars group afterwards. Have a great evening, and we will see you tomorrow for Boundaries at 8 p.m. Bye.
Bye.